Welcome guys. So I'm just doing the midweek magic today. So it's Phantom Bot Draft. Uh, but it's Kaldheim. So this set I think came out a couple of years ago. It's just sort of rotated out of standard recently. And what I know about it, I think it's a bit more of a what they call a Prince format, where the mythics and rares can dominate somewhat. So this is a bot draft, so it's a phantom event. You don't get to keep the cards, but hey, it's a free event. So it's uh, so there's premium Kaldheim you can play this week, I think, or the next couple of weeks. So this helps you sort of get an idea of what you're getting into if you want to delve into the premium event. So I think we'll just start this and see how we're getting on. This is also, I believe, this is a set where snow lands are quite important. So you might want to, for certain snow decks, you'll want to draft a lot of land, maybe 6 to 8 snow lands. We'll have a look at this this pack. Let's see. Well, if I was drafting for my collection, I would just take the rare straight away. I might take this rare anyway because it's a sweeper. It's a Saga enchantment. It does 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Step 1. I mean, giants are they're moderately popular in this environment, I believe. But maybe it's only sort of, one deck in every 5 or so. 5 or 6 will be a Giants deck. So this is going to be useful most of the time. You've also got Scry 3, and then on step 3, whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater this turn, draw 2 cards and discard a card. That's very interesting. So this would commit us to playing Giants and red-blue, I think. We also have Rune of Sustenance. It's pretty nice having access to lifelink. That really helps you race other people, and this is a cantrip card as well. So it replaces itself. Herald, King of Skemfar. So yes, there is a green-black elf deck you can make. So yeah, look at the top 5. You can get an elf, a warrior, or a Tyvar card for a moment. I'll put it into your hand. So yes, this is going to be a hefty commitment to sort of black-green elves if you take this one. Axgard Armory. This is a card I've actually I have played in Kaldheim Draft before. So yeah, it's a tap land, makes white mana. You can sacrifice it, spend 4 mana, sacrifice it, search your library for an aura and or an equipment card. So you can get 2 cards out of it. You reveal them and put them into your hand and shuffle. So there are some, I believe there's some quite powerful equipments. Most of the auras tend to be these rune cards, I believe. But guess what? There's also a good removal card called Bounding Gold, which is an aura. So this is quite a nice land to just have in your deck to give you a little bit of late game card advantage, and to dig through your deck for answers and things. Invoke the Divine, Sport Valkyrie. So yeah, this is quite a good flyer actually. So you can play this for 2 mana if you exile a creature from your graveyard. Pilfering Hawk. So you can see that for this one, that's the ability. The ability here, you have to spend snow mana to draw and discard a card. Dread Rider, yeah. So expensive card, but this when you've got that board stall situation, this can be the difference. So you can start exiling creature cards from your graveyard and make your opponent lose 3 life every time. So this can be quite a good win condition. Tormentor's Helm. Yep, there's a few quite nice cheap equipment cards in this set. There's also the pickaxe that gives you a treasure token if you get through unblocked. I believe that is a very good one. There's a lot of treasure in this set. Vault Robber. This is kind of a card that can. This is an emergency mana fixer, so you can exile creature cards to make from your graveyard to make treasure tokens. But still, it's a 2-drop. It's not that bad. I've used it before. Grizzled Outrider, yep, this is just an oversized creature, so you get a 5/5 for 5 mana. That's just good enough to win sometimes. Snakeskin Veil is in this set, so be aware. 1 green mana can protect a creature. Give it hexproof, +1/+1. Right, so I thought I should go through a pack here, and before I just end up picking Battle of Frost and Fire. I think this is the best card. I'm tempted to actually take Harold, King of Skemfar, and try and make the black-green elf deck work. Just try and force it. But I have played Giants before. This just seems better. Let's just take this. We'll try to make the Giants deck. Okay, we saw it coming. So, of course, Foretell is one of the mechanics in the set. You can, the way it works, you pay 2 mana during your turn, and exile the card, and then you can cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. So you can't cast it the same turn. So this is a pretty decent counterspell. The Trickster-God's Heist. Yeah, there are some very powerful sagas. Obviously, this is very powerful, but Trickster-God's Heist, you can exchange control of 2 target creatures. You may exchange control of 2 target non-basic, non-creature permanents that share a card type, and then target player loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. I think this is pretty strong. But we shouldn't forget we're trying to make a Giants deck. There is a really good Giant card. We might want to go for that. Bind the Monster. So this is a sort of it's blue removal for 1 mana. With a drawback, you take damage equal to its power. Run Amok. So, yeah, quite a nice combat trick. You get +3/+3 and trample till end of turn. It only targets an attacking creature. So I've had a problem with this card when my opponent is beating me down. Run Amok is useless. That's the problem with this card. But if your deck is sufficiently aggressive, then maybe this is more playable. Shimmerdrift Vale, Sulfurous Mire. So we can think about lands. So the Shimmerdrift Vale is any colour of mana. You have to choose it the colour when it comes into play. And it is a snowland, so it counts as a snow source. It's a pretty good common mana fixer, I would have to say. But we're thinking blue-red here. We've got a Dwarf Berserker for 2 mana, which can give other things haste. Got good blue removal here. We've got a good counter spell. And we've got a nice saga here, which would mean getting into black mana. So I don't. This is not the safe option, Trickster-God's Heist, but I think maybe it's the most interesting option. We'll pick this one and see if we can make this work. That's right. This is the set with Colossal Plough. There is the, of course, the 0/6 Ox that can crew the plough, because it can crew using its toughness. It's a nice little combo they've put in there. There is another Trickster-God's Heist here. So I think it's maybe it's pretty straightforward here. There are no giants that I can see. Let's take another Trickster-God's Heist. We'll make the ultimate Trickster-God Heist deck. Okay, here we have a very important giant card, Aegar the Freezing Flame. Whenever a creature or a planeswalker opponent controls is dealt excess damage. If a giant wizard or a spell you control dealt damage to it this turn, draw a card. So this is your card advantage card. Frostbite is very good. So that's just a shock, basically. You can upgrade it to 3 damage if you have 3 snow permanents, which are typically going to be your lands. There are a few creatures that count as snow permanents, I think. For example, the Frost Augur is a snow creature. But we take Aegar here. That's a pretty easy one. The Shapeshifter can, of course, be anything, so this counts as a giant. It will not die to Battle of Frost and Fire, so this is worth considering. Oh, that's right, you choose a creature type when it comes into play, so we'll choose giants, and then we'll try to play lots of giants and pump this guy up. I don't know if it's, I suppose, yeah, it's 3 mana, it's not too bad for a growing threat. We're possibly not going to play that many giants. And the issue we have is we've got Trickster-God's Heists, and they exchange control of 2 target creatures, so we kind of want cheap creatures as well. I don't think can't think of any cheap giants. Well, at least not any that I'm aware of. But there is another Frostbite here. That's probably the best option. We have a card draw card there. That takes some power off the board. Yeah, let's take the Frostbite. Okay, that is a Demon Berserker. And that works with the Boast ability. So that's, you can declare after you've declared something as an attacker, they might have a Boast ability. Usually it costs, yeah, for example, this guy costs mana, and you get to do an effect. So whenever this grows whenever you use Boast, but you can see it's not always very cheap. It's 4 mana for this guy, for this guy's Boast, but you are getting a card from your graveyard, a creature card back to your hand. So that's a pretty good one. We have another Aegar here. I think definitely would like 2 of these guys. Great Hall of Starnheim is quite good, so this can late game sacrifice this and a creature to make a 4/4 angel. There's the giant ox. We'll take Aegar. Okay, another Bloodline Pretender. This guy's a giant, so that obviously upgrades him a bit. And it's a 4/4 creature for 4, which is pretty good. I think we take the Craven Hulk. And giants, I think they tend to cost 4 or 5. So, well, Aegar is 3, I suppose. So you want cheap removal if you can get it, so you can try and survive the early game. Ruined Crown. This can dig a rune out of the deck and attach it to the crown. So the cool thing about runes, they're auras that work on creatures or equipment cards. But we have a giant berserker here for 7 mana. I think we go for the giant. Now, Ice Tunnel is blue and black mana. If we want to splash for Trickster-God's Heist, this is the kind of thing we're looking for. There are no giants here. We've got the Dwarf Rogues. This is another way of mana fixing, but I'd say it's inferior to Ice Tunnel. And we have Sulfurous Mire, so that's black-red. Yes, that is the best thing to pick here. So this is kind of a removal card. It takes 3 power off the board. Or we can have a 3/2 creature. If we're going for Trickster-God's Heist, we might want some cheap creatures. We also, I guess, if we're going for this, we want a variety of card types, things we can exchange. So, if I had another enchantment like Mists of Littjara, potentially I could exchange this for a strong saga that my opponent has played, which could be quite funny. And ideally we'd have maybe something that makes treasures, so we can exchange those for an artifact. Raiders Carve I haven't really looked at, but it can help you get lands out, which is quite nice. I've never really considered this. Maybe it's quite good. I think the right thing to do here is Mists of Littjara. I know there's quite a strong 3/3 flyer that's a common that can just decide games quite quickly if you can't deal with it. The more removal we have for that kind of thing, the better, I think. Right, I think we were talking about cheap creatures to trade with Trickster-God's Heist. Frost Augur might be a pretty good one. We've got a couple of snow permanents now, so it might be relevant. And I think we'll keep going for these mists. I think they're going to be quite good. And this doesn't really matter too much. It's a second spell thingy, a bit like what we have in Brothers War. But I'll take an Ox. Another cheap creature. That's pretty cool. Okay, Pyre of Heroes. Yeah, so of course Usually I would take the rare here, but you don't get to keep. This is a Phantom bot draft, so you don't get to keep the cards. And it's not a particularly useful rare, I think. Although it's interesting. I'm wondering, does this work with shapeshifters that sort of count as any creature type? So you could search really for any creature with one more mana value. It's a convoluted card with, you know, conditional power. I don't think we try and make this work. I think it's yeah, it's a lot of mana to. Well, it's 4 mana to basically use this once. Glimpse the Cosmos. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. Oh, as long as you control a giant, you may cast Glimpse of the Cosmos from your graveyard by playing 1 blue rather than paying its mana cost. Then it gets exiled. Well, I didn't know this was. I had no idea this was another giant synergy card. So that's probably what we go for. Ravenform is a good one. So this is can turn any creature into a 1/1 flying bird, or rather, it exiles the creature and is replaced with a bird token. Pretty good removal as long as you can deal with a 1/1 bird. There is another giant here, but we'll take Glimpse the Cosmos. It's always nice having these cheap kind of card draw cards, so you can. It's another card that can fix that can sort of mana fix a bad opening hand. Right, we have an interesting blue land, but you need green mana to use the special ability. I think we'll just ignore this. Right, Disdainful Stroke. I think there are some quite good spells with mana value 4 or greater. This, I have a feeling you might consider this in this set. I'm not sure though. Or just another Mists of Littjara. Zombie Cleric. See this. The power of this guy's ability is based on the number of snowlands you control. Fearless Pup. Another cheap creature. I think I'm going to gamble on Mists of Littjara being a good card. There's an Elvish Warmaster. That elf deck might have been a good choice. Frost Augur. These guys are shapeshifters, so they count as giants. It's interesting. Okay, another giant. This one's 6 mana for a 5/6 flash, but it enters the battlefield tapped. And then we've got the 7 mana Cinderheart Giant as well. So a couple of big giants. The chances of me having... Okay, sure. 3 or more creatures sharing a creature type. I think they're quite low. And the payoff for this, it gets to be a 3/5 creature with Scry 1, so I don't think this is all that powerful. This lets you copy something, but we need instants and sorceries, which we've got a couple. I don't think I don't think we go dual strike here. We've already got a Frost Augur. I don't know if we want another one. I do want some more giants. I think we've got a Cinderheart Giant. Let's get an Undersea Invader. It's pretty good to cast end of my opponent's turn. I do have a counter spell. Is that, or do I? Did I? No, maybe I didn't pick the counter spell. No, that's right. Well, we might do. You never know. We might have instant speed effects we want to play as well. Right. Okay, Berg Strider. Now this is the big one. Okay. If snow covered mana is spent to cast this guy, then you get to tap something down. I mean for an extra turn. So this is great. The more of these you have, the better for your Giants deck. And there's the gold vein pick I was talking about. So this is good. This is good equipment. It can make treasures for you if the creature gets through with damage. But there's, yeah, we can't beat a Berg Strider there. Another Undersea Invader. Ah, but there's a squash. This is fantastic. Right, 6 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and it only costs 2 if you control a giant. So this is definitely what we take. Another Mists of Littjara, maybe. Or a Pilfering Hawk, which counts as a snow creature. So it's a snow permanent. There was something important about snow permanents. That's right, the Frost Augur cares about snow cards, so that could be good. We'll just take another Mists of Littjara. That's the mana curve at the moment. We want a few more 2-drops and 3-drops, I would say. I think actually having a 2-drop creature would be a good thing. So let's try that. It is just going to keep throwing Mists of Littjara at me, but that's another squash. That is a fantastic find at pick 7. Oh, Giant Wizard, Frostpyre Arcanist. Search your library for instant or sorcery card with the same name as a card in your graveyard. Reveal it. Well, it's very, very unlikely. Oh, well, we do have 2 squashes. There is a very tiny chance this is going to get us card advantage. We're halfway through pack 2. We might get another Frostbite, I suppose. Yeah, it is a shame it doesn't work with enchantments. Another Cinderheart Giant as well. You don't want to have too many 7-drops, I suppose. Let's give this guy a go. It's another giant. And Ravenform is good removal. We can have another Craven Hulk. Yes, let's get Ravenform, I think. Cheap red creature. or Disdainful Stroke. Probably the Disdainful Stroke is slightly better. And I think we take the Vault Robber here. And the Shackles. Right, yeah. You tend to get quite a few Undersea Invaders later on. Ooh, Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. Yeah. It's very interesting, this one. It actually will stall all of your opponent's sagas. If you would put one or more counters on a permanent, if your opponent would put one or more counters on a permanent, they put half that many of those counters on that permanent, rounded down. So if they're going to put one on, it's rounded down. It's halved and rounded down to 0, which is quite nice. And you get, of course, double the number of tokens. Dwarf Berserker. So his boast ability, he can make more dwarves, which is pretty good. There is another squash here, though. We like having multiples of instants and sorceries as well. Yeah, we can't really see past that squash. Another Frostbite, that's fantastic. Just take the Frostbite. Oh good, Invasion of the Giants. So this is a helpful, really cheap helpful saga. Let's use Scry and draw a card and it makes giants, one of your giant spells cheaper as well. So just very solid. Now Augury Raven is the 3/3 flyer I was talking about. So it's a common. You can foretell it, so you can actually play it, foretell it turn 2, play it turn 3, and it can be pretty brutal and just win very, very quickly. But I'm not going to pick it over Invasion of the Giants. The other common that's very dominant is Ravenous Lindworm. You see this everywhere in Kaldheim draft. It turns out a 6/6 for 6 mana is pretty good. Especially it gains you 4 life, so it probably it sort of buys you a bit more time if you're getting whittled to death with a an Augury Raven, let's say. Okay, Invasion of the Giants it is. That's a pretty easy decision. Aegar the Watcher. This guy works well with Foretell in particular. But yeah, you draw an extra card if you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand. Okay, Depart the Realm is a bounce spell, and it's cheap. That could be quite good. But there is a Ravenform here. Merit of the Frost is a pretty good shapeshifter. So it can copy a permanent you control. Interesting. You can copy any permanent. Doesn't have to be a creature. If it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters. So you could copy a one of your sagas, potentially. But I think I like Ravenform better than Depart the Realm here, so I'm going to go for that. And also, of course, doubling up on our sorceries and instants is of value because of Frostpyre Arcanist. Okay, I think we'll have time to get through this. Okay, Giant Berserker, 4/4 for 6 mana. When he enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1, 0, and gain haste till end of turn. So he's a 5/4 haste, in other words. I think it's not bad, and you can foretell it, so it's 5 mana. Demon Berserker, Snow Creature. Yeah, this is not too bad. This is something that can be unblockable. Seize the Swirl, Smashing Success, destroys artifact or land. Yes, let's take a Doomskar Titan here. Saw it coming. That's a good counter spell. Got the Raven there. Let's think about how many snow permanents we've got, because we're trying to use Frostbite. The target is 3 or more snow permanents, so we're not doing that well. We've got Pilfering Hawk as another one, Frost Augur. Probably don't play Shackles of Treachery in this deck. Berg Strider is a snow creature. So there's half a pack left. We've got plenty of cards for the deck. We just want to find snow permanents, I think. Just, it will improve our synergy a little bit. I don't know if we want a snow-covered swamp, though. I don't know if we're playing Trickster-God's Heist. Saw it coming is definitely quite good, but actually I will take the swamp. Frost Augur is another snow permanent, so that's pretty cool. That's another giant coward, but we'll go for the cheap creature. Yes, Forging the Tyrite Sword. Let's go for the equipment deck. Another Littjara Kinseekers. Another snow-covered swamp. Let's give these Kinseekers a try. I don't think I play more than one snow-covered swamp, to be honest. Snow-covered mountain is good. Yes, you just take the mountain. Okay, run ashore or a null. I don't think a null's very playable. Vault Robber or run ashore. Let's go for run ashore. Strategic planning, sure. Right. Zombie Wizard. Let's decide on that. Another strategic planning, why not? Okay, we have a little bit of trimming to do. We've got to cut 14 cards, in other words. We can simplify things by just giving up on Trickster-God's Heist, just dropping black. So we've got to decide, you know, do we want to keep our cheap creatures and Trickster-God's Heist so we can get sort of good value out of this? Is it worth it? I think just for the moment, let's try it without the. Let's try dropping it and dropping the swamp. 52 cards. I think we drop anything that's not a snow creature that's cheap. And the stroke, I think. Probably drop these. And this guy. Probably drop these. 3 Undersea Invaders. I think we drop a couple of Undersea Invaders, to be honest. I can drop these, I think. Maybe 1 Mists as well. Yeah, so I'll just I'll call that end of part 1, and I'll have a little think. So yeah, thanks for watching so far, and welcome back. I have made a few changes to the deck. I thought, since I'm not playing the Trickster-God's Heist, let's just drop the non-giant cheap creatures. So I've dropped Frost Augur and Pilfering Hawk. I've also dropped Mists of Littjara, because I've decided I do have quite a lot of removal. And I want to stick to just instants and sorceries to go, because they go well with Frostpyre Arcanist. That's my reasoning. So I've brought in actually a couple of strategic plannings. I've now got Littjara Kinseekers, just because this is, I want to play as many giants as possible. So we've got 11 creatures that are all giants, and of course my 3 Undersea Invaders. That just sort of makes sense to me. I think I've got enough removal, because I've got 2 Frostbites, 2 Ravenform, and 3 Squash. That's quite a lot. 7 sources of removal. But we'll see how it goes. I was thinking about playing Run Ashore. I mean, it is quite an expensive spell. It's nice having 2 copies, so potentially the Arcanist could find my second Run Ashore. But I'll try this version of the deck to start with. I think it's very lucky indeed to get 3 copies of Squash. Usually the drafting AI is all over that. You never see more than 1. Okay, we've got Battle of Frost and Fire in the opening hand, 3 land. Yeah, it's an expensive opening hand. We've got Ravenform. I think we keep it though. Just see, see if my opponent has a my opponent has a fast start. We need to obviously to get to 5 lands, so drawing a land is pretty good actually. And this can do 2 damage a turn, so this is a very good start, and he has another one. But he's not boasting yet. Okay, yeah, we could foretell something. Doomskar Titan or Ravenform. Let's foretell the Ravenform. If I can get to turn 5, things look good, then I can sweep the board. I still need 1 more mana. So, is he going to start pay? Yeah, he does need to pay mana there. So that is 5 damage. Okay, good. We've got ourselves another land. We could use Ravenform, but it is sorcery speed. That is the only problem with that. Effectively, we're only taking 1 power off the board, but we're also making him spend 1 mana to re-equip this. Okay, let's foretell this. We're all... Yeah. I think... Yes, I think we have to do this. All we have to do is survive to turn 5, and then we're probably good. So the less damage I take, the better. That's 4 damage. And we've got another round of getting smacked. Another Tormentor's Hell. Another point of damage. Okay. We will battle of Frost and Fire. Hopefully these are not counting as giants or shapeshifters. Okay. Does this give haste? No. Okay. Oh, nice. So, he cast 2 spells. Okay, right. Well, let me look at that again. Does that... So, yeah, we've got quite a lot of removal. This is Scry 3. All of these cards are good. Right. Yes, all of these cards are good. Keep them on top like that. Let's play that. And... even if he pumps this up, it's going to get to 5/5. I can still squash it. I think we'll... Oh yeah, this doesn't work, does it? We need our... We don't have any snow mana. Right. Think safety first. Let's squash this guy whilst he's tapped out. We'll feel bad if he's got some hasters that can kill me. RG mob. Yeah. Yes, that still doesn't work. So, he's tapped out. I think the safest thing is to squash this before... Oh. I completely forgot about that. That's very interesting. Do we need lots of Undersea Invaders? Probably not. Glimpse the Cosmos. Okay, let's do that as well. Frostbite. Yeah, let's have another... Oh, snow-covered mountain, you say? That will help me tap something down, so I can actually get a creature out. But it's probably very good against his deck, Frostbite. Still, I'm going to take the snow-covered mountain. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness he didn't have a creature. Okay, Doomskar Titan. Let's read this
Vicious Return. Each player discards a card. So yeah, we just discard Strategic Planning. Yeah, step 3, it gains haste. That's pretty terrifying. Okay. Do we do Undersea Invader end of his turn? Yes, I think we do. Okay. Undersea Invader. Boom. Oh, that's right. As long as you can control a giant, you can cast this from the graveyard. That's pretty cool. He's getting back a creature with haste this turn. Let's look at what creatures he's got, because this could be quite scary. That's the biggest one. It's a 5/4. It can ping for 1 as well. Let's glimpse the cosmos and look for a removal spell. Okay, let's get another Aegar. Okay, that was, I mean, that was the nightmare. That was a very fast Rakdos deck. And maybe he still had a shot of winning there, but I think I was taking a bit too long over my turns with all my card draw thingies. So I gave up. Oh, that's nice. That's my second Haughty Djinn. Right, let's keep going. Well, this does not look too good, does it? All blue mana and 3 expensive things. Looks like he did a mulligan. I think I saw the animation there. I'm going to go for a mulligan here. Okay, 2 mana. 2 land hand, and this time we draw 5 expensive things. Okay, I see how it is. We've just made our situation that much worse. Opponent goes first. I will draw an extra card, so I think 2 land hands are keepable when you're going second, because you're drawing an extra card. In general, it's not ideal if you have 0 things you can cast, but that's how it is. Okay, it's another fast start with a 1-drop creature. Something we don't really want to cast Ravenform on. White, black, and he's got the Goldvein pick. Okay. We top deck a land. That is good. Good news. And sort of mana fixes him and ramps him out. Revitalize, okay. Sure. 2 mana cantrip, draw a card. Right, what do we achieve with Ravenform? Oh, exile target artifact or creature. So we could get rid of the pick, which is going to just keep ramping him out stuff. Yes, so we take away the pick, I believe. He's still got 2 power on the board, but at least he's not gaining loads of treasures. So I sort of wonder, do I have too many large creatures? Do I want to drop Undersea Invader and Undersea Invader from the deck? Probably would make sense if this kind of thing is going to happen. Rally the ranks. So, alright, you can choose Bird now. I walked into that. Did not see him getting a rally the ranks, sadly. Okay, Glimpse of the Cosmos. This is our sort of. This is lucky. This is one of my mana fixing kinds of cards. We kind of want that Frostbite, but it's not. Frostbite's not good enough. We're still losing if we draw Frostbite. We need to top deck our Battle of Frost and Fire, and we need another mana as well. Oh, and Craven Hulk can't block, of course, alone, which isn't good. So that's not even going to do anything. We do have Kinseekers. And there's a Frostbite. So, yeah, let's go for the Kinseekers because it can actually block this guy. We will run into any removal he's got. But and then lose, but that's fine. I don't think there's probably no way of actually getting out of this one. I just don't quite have enough mana. I can Frostbite one of them. Yeah, I can't do 3 damage, unfortunately. The Arcanist can fetch another Frostbite. Then I don't have enough mana to play it, unfortunately. I think I want to Glimpse the Cosmos, just in case there's a squash. I think that works. Oh, by the way, we've got to stop this guy as well. So, yeah, didn't think about that. But, yeah, it's not really possible to do this. But both of these are instant speed. So let's do no attacks and end the turn. Oh, the giant ox, okay. Choose a creature you control. Oh, okay, second spell thing. Oh, right, and that gets flying till end of turn. Nice. Fair enough. Okay. Choose a creature. Oh. Interesting. I didn't get a chance to respond to that. I think if it said the word target, perhaps I would. I was expecting it to have an arrow and a chance to respond, and I would obviously do squash. Oh well. Let's see how this works then. So if I do a squash on the Infernal Pet, for example, kills that. Fair enough. Yes. That's what I thought it would do. Good game. So my deck is feeling very slow. Both games my opponent had a 1-drop, I think followed by a 2-drop.
But I am going to just make a small change, which will be strategic planning, number 3. We'll drop 1 Undersea Invader. I mean, Pilfering Hawk seems quite good for blocking, 1/1 flyers. But it's yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have creatures that can die to my Battle of Frost and Fire, so I'm gonna stick to my guns. The other thing I might do is add Mists of Littjara. If everyone is playing these hyper aggressive aggro decks, that might be a good card. Okay, Bretagard Stronghold. So it's green-white. This can put 2+1. Yeah, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 creatures, and they gain Vigilance and Lifelink till end of turn. That's a pretty nice land. Right, strategic planning we could use now. I think we'll draw a 5th land. We don't necessarily need to get the land. I think we grab the squash. Popular card, this one. We did draw the extra land. There is a green protection spell. But I think what I'll do is I'll wait for him to use his boast ability before I frostbite the guy. Gets a foretell, passing 2 attackers. Is he going to use it? Is he going to use it? Yes, he is. Fantastic. So I will foretell something. That is a big creature, 6 toughness. Luckily squash does 6 damage. Yes. So, I think kill this thing whilst he's tapped out. Yeah, 3 snow permanents you need to make Frostbite good. And you can pump it up every turn. We do have lots of ways of killing this guy. Let's play a Berg Strider. Let's get on the board with a creature. Oh, discard a card. Right. Let's lose the Frostbite. Harold, King of Skemfar, nice. So he can find Nice, he actually hit a warrior card. Spirit Warrior. So I could Ravenform something. 3/2 Menace. I guess I can double block. I think I'll hold on to Ravenform for now. Red Rider. Well, that's a perfect target for Ravenform. Okay, is it time to start attacking? I mean, we can get through with 6, but he can respond with 8 damage, 9 damage. We've got an instant speed interaction spell. I think I'm going to go on the attack here. Okay. Reasonable. Right, let's kill the Disciple there. Let's kill Harold there. Let's view the battlefield for a second. So this is just a straight up trade-off. Yeah, we're okay with that. We've got 1 instance, so we'll blow up his Braggart. And take the other trade. Foretell that. So I don't have to discard it if he plays another Elderfang. But this is a pretty good card, Usher of the Fallen. So that's dead. Okay. Okie doke. Yeah, I'm going to play this. It's another snow. Permanent, which I don't know if it's important anymore. Okay, he's got a nice rare card there. Right. Interesting. Okay. Whenever this guy attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. But this guy makes a 1/1 every time he attacks. Okay, let's do some strategic planning. Okay. Craven Hulk not so good. Undersea Invader is pretty good. Okay, let's take Aegar here. Right. Obviously, if we kill Usher, then this guy will get Raven Wings and start hitting me for 4 every turn. But this is going to make a 1/1 creature every turn, which also seems bad. And he can do this if he gets double white. Okay, let's make a decision. Yeah, let's take out Jaunt. At least I'll be able to block the 1/1 token, or one of the 1/1 tokens, is what I'm thinking. Okay, he had a reanimation spell. Nice. It's one that works with elves. Okay, well, that's not what we wanted. He is top decking like a pro. Yeah, this Ravenform isn't working out so well, gotta say. Would be fantastic on something like Furger. And how much is that? 9 damage. Okay, so now I have to block. And I think even if I drew the card I'm thinking of, it would leave Godsoul Guardian alive to kill me. So I don't quite have... Wow, he actually has Tyvar in the deck. Nice. I don't think I've ever seen this card. So you can give an elf Death Touch and +1/+1, make elves whenever you cast an elf against haste. And you draw 2 cards. Amazing. 6 damage. Let's take out the Godsoul Guardian again. Or maybe Furge is probably the right choice. Doesn't really matter. Take out the card advantage. That's a good example of the elf deck, I suppose. It didn't have that many elves in it. It had a few of the key elves, I suppose. Okay, yeah, I think I'm still happy with the deck. We don't have much against flyers to stop flyers. Okay, problem. We have red mana and blue spells. We are drawing second. We are going second, so we're drawing. I'm gonna gamble on this one. We are a sort of big creature deck. We've got 3 land, which is probably good enough. We'll draw all our blue sort of mana fixing things, of course. That is standard. Yes, this one does have foretell, so I've got something to do on turn 2, at least. Maybe a disconnection here. Oh, something happened, right. Death Knell Berserker. Yeah, this one's pretty good. You can, you need a way to pump it up, I suppose. Yeah, that is the only foretell card. So maybe it might be worth running maybe 1 extra island in the deck, because we've got so much blue mana fixing stuff. Oh, okay.
We must
Nice,
stop
another Arlen.
from engulfing the days.
So yeah, I guess it's 9 blue sources, 8 red sources. Let's try 10 blue and 7 red. So yeah, this deck is definitely an experiment. Typically, you know, the advice is play 17 creatures, have a mana curve that with I think 7 2-drops, 6 3-drops. So we're ignoring that kind of advice with this deck. So we've got the same problem again. Yeah, we drew early mountains, but it happens. That's more like it. In fact, for this deck, maybe going for 18 land would make sense. That's very good, isn't it? I think, yeah, keep 6. We can do a turn 5 Doomskar Titan. I think we actually put a land back in the deck. I think we'll put a mountain. Yeah, let's put a mountain back in the deck. I was tempted to put the Titan back, then I realised we're probably going to play this on turn 5. We're probably going to foretell it. And we've got Invasion of the Giants as well. So that makes it cost 4. Even less if you foretell it. Oh, Aegar. Excellent. Yeah, we can play him next turn. And we'll keep that land there. We need that land. I think it should work if I reveal the Kinseekers. So it does 2 damage to target opponent. Let's try that. Yeah, it works. That's cool. Okay, yes, we can play the Titan next turn, I think. See if the Aegar's getting blown up here. Oh, Ravenform. Okay. Oh, yes. So, that fateful decision to put back a mountain from opening hand. I was thinking I was going to foretell the Doomskar Titan, you see. But, yeah. Never mind. We'll do something else then. Play the island. Berg Strider is a big creature. We could do 2 things. We could do Kinseekers and Glimpse the Cosmos. Maybe that would be pretty good, or we could we could foretell the Doomskar Titan. That might be even better. Right, attacking with this guy, a bit suspicious, to be honest. Let's take the damage. Gonna upgrade a Frostbite probably into a removal spell, I would think. Okay. We have 5 mana. My Berg Strider is not gonna tap anything down. Littjara. Berg Strider, well, it'll tap Kozima, we'll get through with 3 damage. Maybe that's the best we can hope for with Berg Strider. We don't have very many snowlands. Just gonna go away and draw some cards, I guess. Or when it comes back, I think you draw some cards. 1 for every Voyage token. So he's not got any snowlands either, as it turns out. So, actually we can do Aegar the Freezing Flame and Glimpse the Cosmos. That seems quite good. Let's swing in like this. So unfortunately not excess damage in that case, so we don't draw a card. Okay, we can draw Undersea Invader and then not have the mana to cast it. Or we draw an island. So let's get the Invader and fingers crossed we top deck another land. We've always got Doomskar Titan as well. No blocks. I can take it. Wait, that's got haste and you didn't attack with it. I suppose you're tapping your red, and it means he's almost certainly got the Frostbite in his hand. Okay, we actually top deck a mountain. We could Doomskar Titan and attack with everything. Or we could glimpse the cosmos and think about what we want to do. But yeah, I think I like playing Undersea Invader too much. It's 6 mana. Do we keep Aegar the Freezing Flame? Back. Yes, let's keep him back. Just hit for 1. And so on. And he's got something foretold. He might have a Doomskar Titan. Okay. That's right, the first Aegar got exiled.
Okay, Undersea Invader time. Oh, he's squashed. Okay, fair enough. Right, I think... Yeah, we've got 6 mana, so I think we can glimpse the cosmos again. Ravenform might be quite useful. But let's have a Doomskar Titan. I think I'm happy to trade off Aegar at this point. And he'll draw me an extra card when he dies, I believe. Because he'll deal damage before he goes to the graveyard. And I think that's how it works anyway. Yeah, I do draw the card. That's nice. And I can even play that. That's cool. Oh, Cosima. I completely forgot. She was off on a voyage. So, it looks like 1 card drawn. I think I'll go for strategic planning first. Battle of Frost and Fire. Let's take a squash, though. That's a bit simpler. See if he's got a counter spell. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good one. He had Run Ashore. Do we want this guy on top of the deck? Yes. Let's foretell the Doomskar Titan. So I'll have 8 mana. Yeah, actually I won't have enough to do both things. Yeah, that's... I was thinking, how could he possibly survive? Yeah, he had Run Ashore. That's how you survive. You can take out 2 things.
crush the weak. Yeah, has to do that to survive, I guess. And then he needs something for the Doomskar Titan. Sure, let's go ahead and or do we play the Kinseekers first? Because maybe we have the win here, but maybe he's got a the reason he's attacked with that, he's got a counter spell. Let's go for the Kinseekers. Let's just okay, mix it out. Potentially we top deck something that costs 3 mana. Well, I don't know if yeah, both Aegars are out of the deck now. That's the only trouble. I don't have any cheap creatures. Provoke the trolls. Okay, I'm gonna take 3 damage. Has he got a way of killing me here? With 2 cards in hand. Oh, Cinderheart Giant. Okay. It's a pretty good one. We're going to Ravenform it. Don't foretell it. Ravenform that. This is an exile, so it shouldn't kill my dude. That's my theory. I'm going to play the Ice Tunnel. Okay, he's dead. Something else is foretold. Is it a removal spell? Another Demon Bolt? Oh, bounce back to the hand. Okay. Let's go with the Craven Hulk. Yeah, we'll play both of these. The only board sweeper we know of doesn't kill giants. Well, there we go. That's a pretty nice mirror matchup game. Right, now this is just the cosmetic, isn't it? Still pretty cool. Yeah, let's just go over the deck. So it's a Kaldheim Giants deck, blue and red. The slightly different thing we tried was not having any early creatures. The advantage of that, the only creatures in my deck are giants, so it synergizes with all of the giant cards. So Squash, Glimpse the Cosmos. I was not aware this was a giant synergy card, but it is. Invasion of the Giants, of course, and Aegar. So that's on the positive side, but it means you're quite vulnerable in the early game, and you might get run over. We saw that happen a couple of times, I think. There was actually more removal I could have run. I could have played 3 Mists of Littjara, but I felt like I had a lot of removal, and I didn't need that much, and I need some way to actually win the game. So I felt like this was a reasonable balance between removal and win conditions. And I wanted to sort of try Frostpyre Arcanist. I don't think we actually triggered his ability at all, now that I think of it. But the deck was built to take advantage of this guy, so because we had multiples of Squash, Ravenform, and strategic planning and Frostbite, so there's a lot of potential for the Arcanist to actually get you some card advantage. But yeah, we found the format quite fast. We did end up winning the first game, I think, against the Rakdos deck, but we did have Battle of Frost and Fire in the opening hand, which does help quite a lot. And we found, with all of my sort of my cheap card draw cards to try and sort of make the deck consistent, so I hit my land drops and things like that. They're all blue, so it probably makes sense to drop a mountain for an island. So it's 10 blue sources, 7 red sources. Anyway, that was quite fun. That was quite an interesting experiment there. Glad I tried it out. But maybe a more normal deck would be running Frost Augurs and the Pilfering Hawk, because these are also quite useful for drawing and discarding and things like that. But you need lots of snow cards too, and snow mana to take advantage of this. Yeah, I only had 3 sources of snow mana, so maybe I just didn't draft enough snow lands. We also had the snow-covered swamp and the Trickster-God's Heist. But this is designed for a deck with a lot of cheap expendable creatures, so it didn't seem quite. A Giants deck did not seem quite a good fit for this card, but it is pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, that's the deck. Anyway, I think that is a video. So thanks for watching.